Calls now.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'd just like to begin by congratulating David Clendon on bringing this bill successfully to the House. It must be a record in the annals of the proceedings of the House to have somebody come in and to have a bill drawn from the ballot as quickly as he's managed to. And yes, the rest of us are very jealous of the success that he's had. So Labor will support this bill because we believe that New Zealanders ought to have more control over their power bills at home. Householders should have the opportunity to get a little more control over the cost of their electricity. And smart meters do provide electricity users with the ability to monitor their power usage and therefore to begin to exercise that greater control that we think they should have. And the previous speaker's quite right. There are issues here that need to be resolved. But the question here is one of chicken and the egg. Does one wait? Does the country wait until the technology is perfect? Or do we give the technology a bit of a boost by specifying a standard now and helping the appliance manufacturers to know what they should be doing, as the Victorian government has done, and roll out a proper series of appliances in the home that can connect to smart meters and start to give consumers the power that we think they should have. Because there is a real problem at the moment, as the previous speaker observed. There's no requirement at the moment for the smart meters that Meridian and others are installing to have any home area network functionality. And there is an excellent report on this issue from the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment, the servant of this House in this area, who's done meticulous research on the requirements that would be needed to make sure that we could roll out smart meters in a way that really did provide choice to consumers. And that is something that we should take seriously. The Parliamentary Commissioner has estimated that by 2012, retailers will have installed a total of 800,000 metres in this country without that HAN capability, that thing that really makes them smart. And without having installed an HAN chip, so smart meters can communicate with other in-home appliances, consumers simply won't be able to take advantage of using power when electricity is cheaper. The bill sets minimum standards, sir, for smart meters to ensure that those meters being installed are actually smart. They should live up to their name. They should have HAN functionality, not just the capability to have them put in later on. And as I said, sir, this will encourage appliance makers to move quickly to put chips in fridges, washing machines, dryers, heat pumps and dishwashers so that householders can program them to use power most efficiently and to lower their power bills, because the other corollary of this development would be that retailers of power would offer differential tariffs when they weren't able to sell a whole lot of power into the market. They could make that power available to householders, say at night, for cheaper rates. This is the future of electricity use, sir. It's an important step towards smart grids. Smart grids use digital technology to upgrade the current system, and this will allow for much closer control of our electricity supply. So the government has just shown a consistent lack of interest in providing consumers with greater control over their power usage and encouraging greater energy efficiency. Last year, the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment recommended that the ministers should specify a standard, as has now taken place in a number of overseas jurisdictions. I mentioned Victoria. That's probably the closest relevant development. But Jerry Brownlee's just ignored those recommendations. He defends his decision because he says the Ripple control system on home water heating to manage peak load is an adequate substitute. Well, sir, in technology terms, Mr Brownlee's decision is a bit like saying you don't want an iPod because you've still got a perfectly good collection of 78s. In March 2010, Jerry Brownlee again rejected calls to establish a standard for domestic smart metering of electricity in favour of allowing the industry to decide what's best. Well, this refusal is a major missed opportunity to empower consumers. It's a representation of the Energy Minister just sticking his head in the sand. We can trot out all the excuses why we shouldn't do this, but in fact we're missing opportunities. I congratulate David Clendon on bringing this bill to the House, and I hope we take the opportunity that he's offered to really give consumers a bit of choice in the way that they use electricity and to start making our electricity grid a lot smarter.
Is it Sam Lafayette?